Today, we're diving into a source that makes a pretty bold claim that a fundamental repricing of the entire American economy isn't just coming, it's already here. The core argument is that we're living through a moment that's a direct echo of one of the biggest economic shifts in modern history, the year 1971. Yeah, that's the dramatic opening from the source material. It's basically saying that a unique mix of forces is converging to create this perfect storm, one that holds both huge risks and supposedly massive opportunities. So what exactly is this event that's supposedly never happened quite like this before? The whole theory hangs on this one big idea, a concept the source calls the repricing. So let's break down what that actually means. Okay, so here's the core idea. For decades, the world has pretty much been forced to use US dollars to buy oil. This created this huge kind of artificial demand for our currency. Well, the source argues that this system is breaking down right now. And as other countries start getting rid of those trillions in US dollars, they all come flooding back into our economy. It's like pouring tons of water into a glass that's already full. It just waters down the value of the money we all have in our bank accounts. That is the repricing. Now, to really get the weight of this claim, the source points us to a very specific moment in history. It draws a powerful parallel to the year 1971. So this slide really highlights that huge shift on August 15th, 1971. That's the day the US dollar was officially cut loose from gold. And in the decade that followed, you saw this massive split. People who just held on to cash, their savings got absolutely wrecked by inflation. But the people who owned real assets, things like stocks or real estate, they saw their wealth just explode. And wow, this number really hammers the point home. The source did the math. If you had put just $10,000 into the S&P 500 right before that 1971 announcement, that one move would be worth over $3.5 million today. The whole point is that we could be standing at a very similar crossroads right now. So after 1971, the dollar didn't just float on nothing. Its value was held up by these three big pillars. You had global trust in the US system, our bonds paid out enough to actually beat inflation, and the big one, the petrodollar system, basically forced everyone to use our currency. The central argument here is that all three of these pillars are now crumbling at the exact same time. And according to the source, this breakdown isn't just happening by chance. It's being kicked off by what it calls a three-force collision, three separate crises, all on track to hit at once. And here they are, an oil shock, something called a Fed trap, and a hidden energy crisis. The argument is that any single one of these would be a huge deal for the economy. But all three happening together, well, according to this source, that's the trigger for the repricing. Okay, force number one, the oil shock. The source points to geopolitical conflicts that are threatening the Strait of Hormuz, which is a tiny choke point that sees about 20% of the world's oil pass through it. When energy prices spike like that, the cost of everything else goes right up with it. And that leads to stagflation, which is really the worst of all worlds. The economy stalls out, but prices just keep climbing. Number two is the Fed trap. The source is predicting a major leadership change at the Federal Reserve. The theory is the new chair will be a hawk, meaning someone whose number one job is crushing inflation with high interest rates. This would totally pull the rug out from under Wall Street, which has been banking on rate cuts for a while now. And third, you've got the hidden crisis. For 20 years, electricity demand in the US was basically flat. Then, AI happened. As you can see here, the demand from data centers alone is projected to shoot up by 160% by 2030. The problem? Our power grid is old, it's fragile, it's got a C- grade. We literally don't have the infrastructure to power this AI revolution. So, with this pretty dramatic picture painted, what's the proposed solution? It's not about running for the hills. It's about a very specific strategy, one that's called the picks and shovels playbook. Right, this is a classic analogy. During the California gold rush, you know who really made the fortunes? It wasn't most of the miners digging for gold. They went broke. No, it was the guys selling the picks, the shovels, the blue jeans. The idea is to invest not in the flashy, speculative AI companies, but in the boring, essential stuff that all of them absolutely have to have. So the source points to three key picks and shovels areas for right now. First, just broad energy exposure in general. Second, nuclear energy and uranium, and that's because AI data centers need power 24/7 constantly, and only nuclear can really provide that reliably at scale. And third, the physical grid itself. You know, the companies making the actual transformers and power lines that we desperately need to upgrade. But beyond just what to buy, the source's final message is really about having the right mindset and discipline through what could be a really chaotic period. Okay, check out this statistic, because it's one of those things that really makes you think. 76% of the stock market's best days in history happened during a bear market. Let that sink in. The big takeaway here is that if you panic and pull your money out of the market, you will almost certainly miss the biggest recovery days on the other side. And this really gets to the heart of it. Trying to perfectly time the market's lowest point is basically a fool's errand. The source even points out that Warren Buffett himself says it's impossible. So instead, the approach is all about disciplined investing and keeping your cool even when things get rocky. Which leaves us with the big question at the center of all this. Is this 1971 comparison a sign that history is about to repeat itself exactly, or is it just, rhyming? According to the source, how you answer that question could make all the difference for your financial future.